The Sistas season 4 mid-season finale is upon us, and Fatima is breaking windows. Karen is reeling again, and so much more drama. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another Sistas video on what? Erica Vane TV, your #1 source for Sistas content on these interwebs. We have deep conversations about the plot, story, and all that is happening in the Sistas universe. So if you love that, you love Sistas content, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so that you don't miss out on any of my Sistas content moving forward. If you're returning, welcome back. We are about to go on a hiatus. The season 4 mid-season finale is tomorrow. I'm recording this on Tuesday. Episode will premiere on Wednesday. I go live every Wednesday night after the episode, and I cannot wait to do so tomorrow with you all. It's looking like Sistas will be gone for a few months this time. We saw only a few weeks break in between seasons 3 and 4, but it looks like we're going to be gone for a few months. I'm hoping that we get second part of season 4 trailer, at least something to keep us interested for the foreseeable future until Sistas returns. But I also wanted to do this video to kind of discuss the trailer for the mid-season finale, some of the photos that have leaked from behind the scenes, and give, like, I guess my final predictions on what we can expect from episode 11. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's take a look at the trailer real quick.
You love the place.
Big time.
Next should leave. Not talking to you.
I don't want to see that woman, Fatima.
I'm gonna tell her the truth. What, the baby?
Is everything okay?
About to call the police.
You're gonna need them.
Okay, so the trailer opens up with Gary and Andi sitting in the penthouse, and Gary's like, tell me you love the place. And Andi is cheesing from ear to ear, talking about big time. If y'all missed it, I did a video about Andi and Gary, and if Andi is going to wind up taking Gary back, please go and check out that video, because I think I have a really good conversation with y'all about it. Honestly, it spoke to a lot of what Danni said last episode, and the fact that Andi isn't actually tired of Gary just yet, so she's not going to get out of this horrible situationship that she's in, this toxic relationship, this toxic back and forth that she's experiencing, until she gets to a place where she's really tired, and she's not actually there yet. So we're going to continue to see her reel back and forth. Now, what I thought was interesting is if you skip a little bit further into the trailer, we get to see her actually tell Gary that she's going to have Robin stay there. And I'm just wondering, if you don't want drama, Andi, if you are actually moving on, if you are, you know, standing on your own 2 feet, and you are creating a little bit more distance with Gary, and you know Gary for being the person that he is, why would you tell him this? To me, this seems like an open invitation to bring further chaos into her life and to confront Robin, because she's literally telling him, this is where Robin will be, and he has access to it because he bought it for her. Like, while I think he's going to play this whole nice role when he comes over to visit, and he's going to try to get buzzed up and be let in, I 110% believe that Gary has access to this place. I 110% believe that Gary will be able to get in and out of this penthouse when he chooses, how he chooses. And Andi just told him that she's going to have Robin staying with her in this place once he arrives tonight. Girl, why? Do you want a fight to break out? And honestly, it's really given, Andi does like the attention. I think I'm really getting to the point where I really do understand that Andi doesn't necessarily really know what love is. Up until now, we don't know if she's actually ever had a healthy relationship. One of the other most pivotal relationships in her past was a relationship from college where she was in an abusive relationship. So in all honesty, and seeing how Andi has played out in these 4 seasons, y'all, and knowing what her past was, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that she has never had a healthy relationship, which means she doesn't actually have a healthy understanding of what true love is. So I am going to lean to my initial theory in that Andi really enjoys the attention, and while she doesn't necessarily want negative attention, she wants attention in general. And to me, her communicating that Robin is going to be staying with her to Gary, knowing who Gary is another ploy for her to generate additional attention. And it's so unfortunate, because attention is cheap, Andi. You can literally get it from anywhere. You do not have to create or further allow toxic circumstances to plague your life in order to receive it. Then we get to see Calvin, Sabrina, and Bio at Bio's restaurant, and Calvin's standing over them, and he's talking about, well, Bio says you should leave, and Calvin's like, I ain't talking to you. Sabrina looks very, very uncomfortable. I'm guessing an ultimatum is given at some point, which is why Calvin is standing the way that he is, because at the end of last episode, we saw him being a little bit more cheeky and like, oh, he got money, he's seated, but now he's standing up. So I could totally see him like, all right, all jokes aside, I can't believe that you're here with this guy. I want you to leave with me now. Like, what are we actually doing? And she's like shuffling, trying to figure out, processing her mind. She's super overwhelmed. Sabrina is definitely very non-confrontational, so I can see how this is definitely making her uncomfortable. And I'm really kind of interested to see how this is actually going to play out. I don't know if Calvin is going to try to fight Bayo. We've already seen how that worked out. This boy knocked you out. Jacoby knocked you out. Fighting might not be your thing. You might want to keep your distance and keep throwing your words. But also, Calvin, maybe this woman ain't for you, bro. I don't know how much more evidence or proof or situations do you need to go through to realize that this might not be a situation or a relationship that's actually serving you well. Choose peace, King. Ciao. And then when we get to Karen, who pops up over at Danny's house, she's probably getting advice after leaving Zach's house, because you know she had a run-in with Fatima last episode, was very honest and revealed some things to her, but then was kind of off put after, you know, Fatima came out and said that Zach wasn't home. No, they don't know that Zach is actually arrested, but Fatima didn't disclose that she don't know where Zach is. She kind of kept that close to the vest, which she should. That's typically what you would do. Fatima's that type of girl. She ain't gonna give you too much information. So I know people were mad of like, why is Karen thinking that Fatima's lying again? She's thinking that she's lying again because she's looking right at Zach's car and Zach ain't coming out the house, so maybe he don't want to see her, maybe something else is going on. It's 100% plausible that she could be thinking like, oh, she's lying to me in this way, because they don't know each other that well, and they're just getting to a place where Karen is being very, very honest about where she is and feeling Fatima out, because Fatima has been very graceful and very accepting of a lot of the things that Karen has communicated. So I could understand why she thinks that Fatima is lying. And then also she's emotional. She comes to Danny's house and she's reeling, and she's like, I don't want to see this woman, well, in the trailer. And honestly, y'all, I'm taking the trailers with a grain of salt, because the way that they're positioned to deceive us, and they're positioned to make us think one way. I feel like it was a great example of that with last episode with Karen, you know, showing up at the duplex and then conversation with Fatima. If you were just going off of the trailer, it looked like she was coming to be very confrontational, but when you watch the episode, it made 100% sense and she wasn't. So I'm taking all this with a grain of salt, and honestly, I'm laughing because, you know, Karen's like, I don't want to see that woman, and Danny's like, Fatima, and then Karen's like, well, why y'all so close to her, huh? Who friends are y'all? And I'm interested in seeing how Danny actually responds, and I'm interested in seeing how this whole little scene plays out. I could understand wanting to make sure that your allegiances are where they need to be and your friends are really riding for you. I think that Karen could go through a moment of like, Zach picked Fatima over her, or her friends about to pick Fatima over her, and we probably about to see that play out. But I honestly am not taking it too seriously like a lot of other people are. People are like, oh, Karen is delusional and she's this and she's that, and I'm just like, child, she's going through a breakup. Things get a little illogical when that happens. It is what it is. Then from there we see Jake bail Zach out, or I guess Jake actually went ahead and paid the $37,000 in back child support so that Zach could be released. And they're talking outside of the police station, and Zach is like, I'm about to tell her the truth. I'm talking about Fatima, and Jake's like, about the baby, but I guess he don't want him to actually do that. Jake, you must know that there's something fishy going on in reference to this whole baby setup. Like, I'm gonna come up with another video with my predictions on whose baby this actually is, because I don't think that it's Zach's baby, honestly. But we're gonna get this scene. I think we're gonna get very minimal Fatima in this episode, because in the trailer we also get to see Fatima busting up Hayden's house. The Sistas on BET Instagram page posted this amazing photo of Zach and Fatima reunited, and I think that they're going to be reunited back at the duplex at the very end of the episode, and it's going to go off from there. I don't think that this is going to happen very early on. But then also BET released to TV Line a bunch of screen grabs from the episode as well, with Fatima after she breaks up his car, she goes into Hayden's house, and then from there you can see Gary is actually in Hayden's house, and Fatima is threatening Gary with this bat and putting two and two together. I think this is the worst thing that could possibly happen for Gary. Like, all Fatima needed to see is that Gary is in cahoots with Hayden, and now it is a complete and utter wrap for him. And I'm so excited for this day, honey, because now Fatima's going to be on the active get Gary up out of here campaign versus the I'm gonna let Andi go ahead and live, but I'm gonna tell her to girl let it go, but I'm gonna also go ahead and support you. Now it's like, no, we ain't gonna be able to do it. He got to go. Speaking about Andi, Karen also pops back over Andi's house. I think this is also going to be something to towards the end of the episode and Andi is asking, is everything okay? And Karen says no. And this might be where she has an emotional moment where she maybe tells Andi that she don't feel supported. Maybe she tells Andi that she feels like she's a stronger friend to Fatima than she is to her. Maybe she tells Andi how she's feeling overall in reference to the pregnancy, how she's overwhelmed, because none of these hoes seem to be checking on her or really care in reference to this whole baby thing. I'm really excited to see what this is going to be. Honestly, I think that we're going to see a very explosive mid-season finale, as they should. If they're going to send us off on a long hiatus, they need to give us a great episode talking about no fillers, Mr. Tyler Perry, just nothing but story back to back to back. We get a little moment in the trailer of Maurice bringing Q in. I'm hoping that they don't get too much of the episode, because honestly they can keep it. Maurice is going to wind up sleeping with Q, backtracking, and honestly I think that Q was trying to set him up. Q was going to try to set him up to take the fall for what happened at the bank, and it's probably going to try to get him wrapped up in some other stuff, and I'm over it. But honestly at this point, Maurice invited all of the trouble that Q brings back into his life, so I don't feel sorry for him about it. All right, y'all, and that is my full breakdown on the mid-season finale, what we can expect, my last minute predictions. I will also be posting the trailer on my Instagram, so head over to @ericavane.com on Instagram to check that out, as well as some of the photos that I mentioned here or show here from behind the scenes of TV Line. I will also be keeping you guys updated on ericavane.com with any new information about the show as we are on hiatus, in the mid-season hiatus. That's casting announcements, that's premiere dates, anything that there is to know about Sistas, I will be updating it. We have a schedule on ericavane.com for you guys to be able to check out, so the moment I know about the return as well as the rest of the episodes for the season, I will definitely update that for you all. But make sure that you're following me on Twitter and on Instagram and on TikTok so that you catch any of my little bits of content to keep you updated in the moment. We'll try to keep you updated daily on anything Sistas that you need to know. And again, be sure to join me tomorrow on live at 7:45 Pacific Standard Time so we can talk about the mid-season finale and the season thus far. Cannot wait to see you there. Bye.